PayMeetUp. Hello, my name is David Porras, and I'm a payment and fraud manager. Apple Pay, Click and Collect, LinkedIn, Bitcoin, 1-to-1 Monaco. I was born in Latin America. I moved to France 20 years ago. I did all of my studies in France and I started working here. I had the chance to move from a lot of departments and I fell in love with payments about 6 years ago. I'm 100% in love with payments still. Yeah, it's been 6 years that I've been discovering, and every day I learn something new. I have other passions than payments, so I love music and composing music also. So when I was little, I hoped I was going to be a president. That was my dream, or a taxi driver. Very opposite dreams. But I think the common point between both is that, well, they both lead under a particular scope, right? My role is to make my team happy. When I talk about payments, I always describe this as a multi-layer type of role. The first role is everything that's around partnerships. So either with vendors or sometimes we can have clients. The second layer, it's everything that's around new features, new projects. So we have really to work a lot with ITs and developers. The third role, it's everything that's day-to-day. So monitoring, debugging, replying to specific incidents. And the last ones, it's everything that's around analytics. And I will say the last layer, it's innovation, discovery, getting outside of the walls of one's company. And I will say also compliancy. I start my day by listening to news, either on payments or other topics, around economics too. Today I have a job where I cover 150 countries, so I try to have an idea of what's going on. The second thing will be, I always do my to-do list in the morning. And I do it every single day. And then, of course, looking at the agenda and trying to anticipate if there's any specific point on the day that I need maybe a little bit of rest just before that meeting. And also, next I will touch base with my team. I will say it's the to-do list, which is something that seems so simple, but it's an exercise that can change everything on how you handle your day. In terms of media, I really try to not to get myself on one single source. So of course I can use anything. So LinkedIn, it can come from Instagram, it could come from Google, of course. Many magazines, sometimes just keywords. The thing that I'm seeing today is that a lot of the media, it's actually sponsored by particular vendors. So as a payment manager and payment experts, we really have to be careful on trying to retrieve all of the commercial stuff and getting what's the real news behind all of those articles, right? In the beginning of my career, I had the chance to define the role of payment manager on a company that didn't knew this role existed. So I'm particularly proud of that step. Just building the whole topic. I think it's a buzzword. Firstly, it's something that's very attractive, but for the moment, as it is, I wouldn't say that short term we will actually start paying with cryptos directly without transforming it in some sort of other currency. There are many things to be considered. So it has to be a stable coin. At a certain point, it had to be frame. At the end of the day, we're destroying everything about the DNA of what crypto is. So I find it difficult today to imagine that tomorrow we'll start paying with a pure crypto, online or in store. It has to be a whole department. So I've been in different types of organizations where the payment function was in very different departments, and the one that I've really liked, it's the one where payments, it's a whole division. Now, it's not for every single company, but definitely that's the best way to go. We need to anticipate the future. Everybody loves that about payments, new features, new payment methods, but we also have to anticipate what's the impact in our margins and the impact in operations and the people actually also on the teams. So definitely having both things handled, it's the most difficult part for a company. First thing, it's my team, people that are actually as passionate as you on the same field. It's great. The second thing, it's of course just seeing this field also evolving every single week. There's a news going on payments, right? So this definitely gets me boosted. Yeah. I will say that something that can get a little bit tricky or challenging is that payments can have a little bit of a black box side. Not everybody understands what's the deal with payments. So there's a lot of explanation to give. At some point, it can be a little bit tiring to repeat over and over again what's an acquirer, what's a scheme, etc. But it's part of the job, and it's part of the payment family actually to share what's the deal with our job. One of the things that I love about payments is that there is no definition of the payment manager background. I've met several different people in this field. Everybody has a very different background in their professional lives or their culture, etc. So I definitely think this is something very valuable on payments. Also, payments has a lot of diversity. It was, I think, a couple of years ago, a very male type of job, but it's getting very diversified, and I love that payment has this side also. Payment manager pays contactless. He loves trickiest, two-factor authentication. Yeah. I will say that one of the things about the payment managers is that they seem to be, very acknowledgeable on the outside, very expert. But actually, the payment manager is always questioning himself. This allows him, to stay humble and be open to discover or to new ideas. I'll have to say François Soenens, he actually gave me this phrase of saying that you have to be very humble in payments because you always have something to learn. I wouldn't talk about a specific innovation, but I will say about a new topic or a new field that it's actually really growing right now. It's everything that has to do around authentication. So not only 3DS, it's just, how can we log in someone on a frictionless flow. There's this FIDO initiatives. All of these things are opening new doors. So I really think there's something to scratch there, and that definitely will have an impact on payments and fraud. Aside of the payment methods, it's about the interaction with the consumer, right? And one of the things that we have to keep in mind is this QR code thing. So in Asia, seeing QR codes is just like something that you see everywhere. But I really think there's going to be a wave of, and we're seeing it now on the rest of the world, where there is this QR code that allows us to interact. So with COVID, we actually saw a lot of this happening. Now we see restaurants where the QR code just stayed as a new interaction method. So we have to think that this will open up definitely new UX also for the payment methods. It might occur that the payment manager will be no longer multi-layer type of approach or type of person, but maybe it will get specialized. So you will have a payment specialist for partnerships, a payment specialist for product, which is already the case in a lot of companies, and a payment specialist, for compliancy, etc. So we might go further on the specialization of this role, right? That's one of the things. And the second trend that I see, it's the role of data engineers in this field. Definitely this new generation of data engineers are coming in the game, let's say, and they will definitely change it. Well, you can wish me a great year starting for that, and that will be all. Meet Jane. Jane is coming back from work and she decides to watch a TV show. So Jane completely falls in love with a new dress that she's looking at in her Netflix series. So she will pause Netflix and she will actually be able to scan a QR code with her phone, and by magic she will actually have on her phone the basket with the dress, and she can just complete the basket and check out. Thank you PayMeetUp for the great moment. I'm really looking forward for the next interviews. And you, what makes you wake up in the morning and get boosted for work?